Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Isn't it nice when your enemy confirms that they can't win, and when they change the goalpost, which is they say, we can't do this, how about we drop it to this? And I have here 3 articles to exemplify exactly that. Actually 2 of them, and the third one is the West still doesn't accept reality. And if you don't accept reality, that means you're going to definitely make mistakes, because your assessment of reality being delusional will prepare you or make you prepare or plan for your delusional reality. Therefore, you're going to be off. So the guy attacks from the north. You somehow don't like the north, you like the south, and you say, well, I think the Russians, let's say, attack from the south, when actually they attack from the north. But since you don't like the north, you like the south, then you're going to prepare in the south, and the Russians will attack you from the north. So this is something that these guys are really good at, which is being delusional or trying to propagandize us in being delusional. And we have this article which claims that Mr. Witkoff, Trump's Middle East envoy to Russia is not located in the Middle East, but nevertheless, might have misunderstood Putin's demands, they say. So it's a mistake. Actually, the Russians want this. We don't know exactly what that is, but this guy, Witkoff, the envoy, 5 times met Putin so far. He must have misunderstood Putin's intentions. We all know Putin's demands, terms, intentions. We all know them. If you do not, you either are illiterate, you can't freaking read shit, or you simply are with like an ostrich, head in the sand. You don't want to accept it. You're delusional. So let me avoid it, live in denial. Let's start with the first one. New Voice of Ukraine, August 8th. Janis Kluge. Western pressure alone won't cripple Russia's war machine. So you see? Then why do it? Well, the article was not made to tell you, well, our 18th round of sanctions slapped all together so far, I think about 1,500 sanctions on Russia don't work. They don't work. Well, they're not going to say that. They say those don't work, we have to add. So that's what it is. You know, if you put salt and you taste the whatever you're cooking and the salt doesn't have any effect, put more and more and more and more. And after you put a lot and still doesn't have an effect, you say, well, how about it's not enough, but we have to put more. The first thing they realize by that statement right here that it won't help. It didn't help for 3 years and a half. So what are you going to do? Attack this guy with missiles? As Western nation escalates sanctions, what do you mean escalate? They don't have any more to do. That's it. Against Russia, questions persist about their real impact on the Kremlin's war economy for 3 years and a half. To unpack the latest US and EU measures and whether they can truly hinder Vladimir Putin's ability to wage war, New Voice special correspondent Natalia Rop spoke with Dr. Right there, doctor. Why don't you say pipe layer? Why don't you say engineer? Why don't you say, I don't know, you always, doctors we have, or professors. These guys, we have to name their attainment. Why? To make sure that they have the authority that we're going to listen. Fuck you, talk. That's all I need. And when I hear you talk, I realize if you're a doctor or you're not a doctor. Let's move on. It always riles me up, this bullshit. Deputy head of the Eastern Europe and Eurasia Division at the German Institute for International Security Affairs. We are nothing compared with this genius, man. Nothing. Okay. And a leading expert on the Russian economy and sanctions policy. So already you need to know, half of this introduction, that he is somebody. And you must to agree with what he says. Because he's a doctor, he is deputy head, he is tralala. You are shit compared with this guy. Alright, so he's going to tell us about that. What? They don't work, but we need to do more. Okay, he's not going to be affected. This doctor, his income is not going to be affected. his position will not be affected. The second, Dr. Kluge, his position will be affected. He is going to say, well, maybe the sanctions don't work. But as of now, they don't work, we have to put more. That's what Mr. Kluge has to say. All right, the new measures are significant, from the formal cancellation of the Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines to an adjustment of the oil price cap on Russia's crude, which will be set at 47.60 per barrel starting September 3rd. But how powerful is the new EU package in practice? What real impact? New Voice discussed these questions with Dr. Janis Kluge. All right, so he thinks that is not enough. Next, and it's not enough, why? The Russians are smart. There's a whole world out there, and they diversified. I'm not saying will not have an impact in the Russian economy. It's not going to have the blackmail impact these guys told us that it will have in 48 hours. So if these experts, remember, the same experts, and also, I don't know if Mr. Kluge was one of them, but I remember the experts, the analysts, people that PhDs came and told us, if we're gonna kick Russia out of SWIFT, the ruble would be rubble. We're gonna fuck them up. And then all the Russians, the economy will take a shit. And the Russians will go to the Kremlin with their pitchforks and with torches and will get to have Mr. Putin like Gaddafi. Nothing happened. So then those experts, I want them fired and sent in the field to tend for the crop. That's what I want them to be. Why? That's their job. They had 50%. It's like 50%. It could have been me. Will cripple the Russian economy. Oh, it didn't. Okay, what do I have to lose? No, Emil is a baboon. Okay. What about I would say the Russian economy is not going to be crippled? And it was. Oh, and it wasn't. Oh, Emil is an expert right there. Those guys had 50% chance to fuck it up. And they did. And they're the experts. So those guys, if we live in a meritocracy, should be fired, stripped of their little diplomas that they have, and sent over there and maybe go to war with Russia, or go over there and mend for or tend the crops. That's what I want them to do. Don't tell me, Emily, haven't you made any mistakes? Not like this elementary. And then you're an expert. You're not like a guy over there in a kindergarten telling the kids about what Russia will do. You're an expert on TV. You're a whole, like you have these guys with Saddam Hussein. You remember all these guys coming and telling you, Karl Rove and this, he has no weapons of mass destruction, we should destroy it. After that, those guys should never show their little snake heads in public again. But they are. Karl Rove is still expert. How? And many others. So let's go to this guy right here who says in Ukrainska Pravda, Zelenskyy, end of war must be fair. Whoa. I thought that Russia must be destroyed. I thought that was the whole purpose. I thought that strategic defeat must be inflicted on Russia. I thought that Russia has to provide a lot of money for their destruction. Putin must go. Russians enslaved for the Western interest to take their natural resources. Their military should be destroyed. I thought that was the plan. And now we talk about must be fair. What do you mean fair? What is fair? What is fair? Fair is when you don't, well, for instance, when you're not the Ukrainian's president. That would be just fair. Let's start with that one. Zelenskyy should not be Ukrainian nation's president. Zmyhal should not have been the prime minister and now is the defense minister. Yermak should not be the president's office chief. Umerov should not have been the defense minister. All these guys, all these Ukrainians, plus Reznikov, should not have been the defense minister of Ukraine. Syrskyi, the Russian, should not be in charge of the... I can't call him Russians, but the other ones, I can't call them what they are, except Umerov, who's a Tatar. None of these guys are Ukrainians, but they're... So let's start with that one. What is fair? You, not you, those guys, I think, sit on other people's land. That's not fair. How about that one? I think they infringe other minorities' freedoms. I think they banned media. I think they arrested people. I think they committed assassinations. Many other things. Many things are not fair. Fairness unfortunately have to break the news, is based on power. Power gives you control. I'm in charge because I can punch everyone in the face. I am the strongest. That's how I gain it. What's fair? It's fair for you to shut the fuck up, otherwise, boom. That's how it works. We're told in kindergarten, in school, no, fairness is for us. In real life, fairness is based on power, strength. That's it, you impose. Oh, we're gonna have a debate. Okay, I bring my AK-47, put it on the table, you all have shit. Who do you think is gonna win each and every point on a debate? Me. Why? You know it. So must be fair. So now it must be fair. And the last one, these guys tell us that maybe Witkoff misunderstood Putin. What is to misunderstand? I tell you exactly what Putin wants. No NATO in Ukraine, the recognition of the occupied territories, which the Russians claim they're fairly theirs. Fairness, which must be fair. Denazification of Ukraine, no Banderas, Antonio Banderas ideology over there in Ukraine. Stepan Bandera, it's Antonio Banderas for me. All right, and obviously the militarization of Ukraine. You cannot hit us again. We're gonna take care of you like the Romans took care of Carthage in a second Punic. Punic War was with the other guys, with the Carthaginians. That's what it was. They will make sure these guys will never come back. What's to misunderstand here? But they make it like, oh, maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe Trump will realize because Putin is going to and Trump is going to be like, And the baboons will catch that. Not. Ukrainska Pravda. Trump's envoy Witkoff may have misunderstood Putin's demands regarding ceasefire in Ukraine. First, ceasefire is only when it's peace. That's when it's going to be a ceasefire. When the documents will be signed and the terms will be agreed, sent by this guy, there will be a ceasefire. That's clear. Bild. Okay, tell German tabloid or whatever it is. US President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, may have misrepresented Russia's position on a possible ceasefire in Ukraine after he met with Putin this week, the fifth time. Bild reports that Russia has not abandoned its demands for complete control of Crimea, Donetsk, Zaporozhye, Luhansk, Kherson Oblast prior to any ceasefire. Correct. We all know that. Do you think that he did not know that? And has only agreed to a sectoral ceasefire. However, in a peace proposals leaked to the media, Putin appeared willing to discuss a ceasefire first. The peace proposals leaked to the media, I think they're fake. I don't think that's true. Why? Because in those, I cover that as such, in those proposals these guys leaked, the Russians are accepting some, no. They're accepting non-negotiable, not to be negotiated, but they drop the claim. That's impossible. I guarantee you Russia will not drop any of the 4 claims. Any. Maybe he's going to be water them down a little bit. A little bit. That's the key word. A little bit. But he's not going to drop them. And then that's why I said that's fake. The Russians might look funny, but they're not, you know what I mean? Appear willing to discuss a ceasefire after the withdrawal of Ukrainian forces only from Donetsk and Luhansk Oblast. Bild sources said this could have been the result of Witkoff misinterpreting what Putin said about a peaceful withdrawal from Kherson Zaporozhye Oblast. Russia is demanding the withdrawal of Ukrainian forces from this oblast, but Witkoff thought the proposal was for Russian troops to withdraw from there. What are you talking about? And I'm quoting, Witkoff doesn't know what he's talking about. The German tabloid quotes an anonymous Ukrainian official as saying, according to Bild, it's an assessment shared by representatives of the German government. Well, and the Germans know best. Why? Whatever. The point is this. The Russians will have Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporozhye, Kherson, and the Crimean Peninsula at minimum. Okay? There's no conversation about that one. The Russians will not withdraw 1 inch on the country. They want the complete oblast. You know, the oblast was, determined in a certain place. The Russians still have to take over some of these oblasts, little things. They want everything. They want the Ukrainians to go, so they don't have to them to go. That's all with that one. And then that's one. And then the recognition of those. This is reality versus delusional, a just war, and these guys misinterpreted. Do you think that Witkoff doesn't know? I don't think he doesn't know. I mean, after all, if he misinterpreted that, that means Mr. Witkoff should be out over there plowing the fields with a fucking horse. Yeah, that's where he should be. But he doesn't do that. He's a lawyer, he's a professor, he's a politician. This is what Witkoffs are. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.